You open your eyes and find yourself in a corridor that stretches out as far as the eye can see. The terrain is devoid of any natural substance that you'd find in our world. You don't know where you are, however you can't help but notice that something's wrong, because what you do know is that you are not alone, and whoever is with you, your instincts tell you that they are not friendly. What I just described to you is the Corridor of Memories, a mysterious alternate dimension in ReZero, and the introduction to this place changes everything. This video is one of many discussing the second core of ReZero's 4th season as it airs weekly, with this one specifically going over episode 13. And with it being almost 30 minutes long, there is a lot to unpack. What the Corridor of Memories is, the person behind everything that's gone wrong so far, Subaru's resolve being challenged, the return of Rem after what, 10 years? And the tower being thrown into chaos, all while this is happening. Yeah, a lot happens in just this one episode. With one obstacle out of 100 being solved last episode, the gang has decided to clear the trials that loom over this watchtower. As you well know, this horrifying pervert is blocking the path forward. Reed Estrella is an anomaly in the ReZero world that's able to cut anything. Here he is, casually cutting light with ease. Defeating this monster is basically impossible. However, the plan of using the library to read his Book of the Dead to see if he has any weaknesses that can be exploited is honestly their best bet. But little did they know not everything would go according to plan, because reading Reed's book does not let you relive his life. In fact, it throws you into the lion's den where you are prey for one of the most sinister beings in the series. In a crazy turn of events, it's revealed that the architect behind everything that's gone wrong so far involving Subaru's memory loss and the horrible disaster that awaits everyone in this tower was by none other than one of the Synarchbishops of Gluttony, Rui Arneb. Wow, what a crazy plot twist that no one saw coming. It's not like she's in the opening or the second course promotional poster or anything, because that would just be ridiculous, right? So what is the Corridor of Memories and why does a Synarchbishop live in it? ReZero has, in my opinion, one of the most underrated lores and mysteries in anime. Once you take a leap into the rabbit hole that is the ReZero world, you'll find yourself having endless questions with barely any answers to satisfy you. As you can imagine, this dimension that stretches out endlessly and filters souls so that they can be reused sounds pretty damn interesting. From what was said, it sounds like when a person dies, their soul enters this dimension. And not only that, strips it of its memories and experiences until you're left with a fresh, unsoiled soul that can then be used to create something new. That would explain how the Books of the Dead exist in the first place. The memories and experiences of the soul get funneled into the archive, becoming a physical book that people can read. And the Corridor of Memories itself is an extension to a much larger entity in the ReZero world, Od Lagna. I am briefly going to be talking about cut content because there's just so much cool stuff that didn't make it into the episode. If you want to hear some extra content about Od Lagna that I feel isn't that spoilery, then feel free to keep watching, but if you don't, I've left a timestamp below so that you can skip this section. Are we cool? Okay. The existence of this being single-handedly changes everything from our understanding of this world. From how mana and divine protections work, to spirits and how they function, to something even more complex such as utilizing witch factors to break the rules and rewrite the world that Od Lagna established. Originally, our understanding was that mana existed both inside our Ode and in the environment around us. Which is still true, we just never questioned why that is. Because why would you? This is a fantasy anime. This is just normal, there's no reason to think otherwise. But the series has forced us to realize how little we really know about this world. This being has no will, this mechanism that only works to keep the world at balance, from not falling apart. It's making me start to question things that I never would have expected. If it only cares for keeping the world at balance, why do witch factors exist? These powers that have the ability to cause chaos and rewrite the world. It's clear its power isn't infinite because of this, but what are its limits? Was it created by someone or has it always existed, and why is it able to produce mana? And why does it keep giving Reinhard these damn divine protections? There's so many things to consider about Od Lagna, but what really interests me the most is the existence of the library. We know that the Corridor of Memories is part of Od Lagna and the place where souls are filtered and reused. We also know that the memories and experiences get turned into Books of the Dead and put in this library. This would be fine and all if it wasn't for the fact that we know that the tower itself was created by the wise man Flugel, not Od Lagna, which would mean somehow Flugel was able to harness or direct Od Lagna's abilities and turn them into Books of the Dead. I don't know about you guys, but this sounds insane. If this is one example, how many others could there be? The introduction to Od Lagna begs so many questions that didn't even exist until now. What makes it even more confusing is Rui. If you go back to when she was introduced in season 3, you can see that the Corridor of Memories is behind her. So this place has been foreshadowed since way back then. She's been in this place for her entire life, only gaining new experiences through what her brothers eat. Yes, in case you're wondering, all three gluttonies share the memories and talents of whoever they ate. But what's more fascinating is Rui herself. We now have a better idea idea of who she is and how insane she is. She deems life unfair, which, yeah, makes sense. You don't get to choose who you are, who your parents are, or what environment you grow up in. In her case, it's even more extreme. She's been trapped in this endless corridor her entire life. And in most cases, this would be something to sympathize with. Her ultimate goal of wanting to be happy is respectable, but the way she goes about it is completely misguided. Because to her, happiness is only achievable if you're able to make the best possible choices at all times. To live a perfect life in stark contrast to the miserable life where she wasn't able to make a single choice. This is something that's impossible no matter how you look at it, with the sole exception of one, Natsuki Subaru. He has the ability to rewrite reality to whatever he wants. He can correct past mistakes, make a perfect life for himself, all because of return by death. The answer to all her desires rests in the hands of this man. She wants to override him, strip him away from his identity until all that's left is someone else. This makes her the perfect villain for not Subaru but amnesic Subaru, because she's challenging him at a time where the question of who he is at its most unknown, having to live up to the standards that's been set up by the people who know him, the man who's done so much for everyone around him, yet the one in his shoes right now knows nothing of his achievements, but is still trying to live up to all these people's expectations anyways. Rui acknowledges Subaru's deepest fears and affirms them, that the person he is today and the person he was yesterday were two completely different people, that by bringing him back, he will be erased. The person that fell in love with Amelia, the person who made that promise to Ram, the person who cherished Meili, the person who tried to console Julius. By sticking to the resolve he made to get Natsuki Subaru back, he'd lose all the things he grew to care for. All that effort he put in, all that struggling would be in vain. There's only one word that perfectly fits this situation. It's unfair. Sacrificing yourself so that someone else can be with the one you love, with the people you care for. Just imagining it leaves a pit in my stomach, and I'm sure it's true for everyone else. It's unfair, it's cruel, it goes completely against everything this show has tried to enforce. This show has always taught you how to love yourself, to find value in your own worth. But now on the surface, Subaru's resolve to get his memories back at the cost of losing who he is now seems like the wrong choice. And it nearly breaks him, understandably so. Just when Subaru had found his resolve to save everyone, when presented with the first obstacle that challenges this, it leaves him shattered. He's on the verge of giving up. Hell, it's not an exaggeration to say he already has. But just like the first time he gave up, there was one person who was able to lift him back on his feet to try again. Someone who set him onto the path of heroism and is the person who helped Subaru grow into the person he was at the start of the season. And when she was needed at the most crucial moment, here she is standing before Subaru. Rem, after being absent for 3 seasons, briefly returns to give Subaru that little push he needs. He has no memories of her, he has no idea what exactly their relationship was like before, but it doesn't matter because the words she's saying with the intentions behind them can only mean one thing. Stand up, your job's not finished yet. Subaru made a promise to her that he'll become a hero, that she'll never see him ever giving up. And here Subaru is at this current moment about to break that promise, arguably the most important promise he's ever made. And you could say, well, he doesn't remember it. That's a promise the other Subaru made. And while it's great to see Rem again after all this time, it's important to remember why she's here. What's the purpose of her appearance right now? Well, despite Subaru never having made that promise to Rem, it doesn't matter, because to her, they're one and the same, the complete antithesis of Rui, who's arguing they're two different people. Subaru might not remember making this promise. He might be ready to give up at any moment right now. However, Subaru is someone who never gives up. Someone who keeps pushing forward until he's reached a future where everyone can smile. He might not understand the words that are being spoken, but he sure as hell can feel the intent behind them. And with this, we see the introduction to Subaru's newest ability. The anime doesn't say what it is, so I won't say what it is. But what I will say is that he won't let Rui win. Just when she was so close to convincing him that they were separate, when she was this close to being able to eat his memories again, she failed. Everything she said to him was to break him, but no one really knows what'll happen. If Subaru gets his memories back, the current Subaru may or may not die. But as of right now, his resolve won't waver. He'll beat the gluttonies, solve this tower, and push through anything that stands in his way. This was a fantastic episode, and from here on out, we won't have time to breathe. I did skip over Subaru and Julius's conversation because I feel it'll be more thematic to talk about later on. Same with how I skimmed over Subaru and Ram's conversation in the last video. A lot of lore was dumped on us this episode, and a lot of the mysteries we have for this season have finally started to be revealed. If you enjoyed the video, liking and subscribing would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, that's all I have to say for now. See ya.